much. Tonight, the U.S. Conference of Mayors is backing a proposal by congressional Democrats to study slavery reparations. Various researchers using mathematical formulas based on inflation and hours worked by slaves and other measures are starting to narrow down the overall cost of those reparations, ranging from $12 trillion up to $6.2 quadrillion, according to a new survey. The $6.2 quadrillion estimate amounts to $151 million per slave descendant, at a price tag for all 327 million Americans of about $19 million each. Let's talk about it with Charles Love, the author of We Want Equality, How the Fight for Equality Gave Way to Preference. Charles, good to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let me read this from the Washington Examiner. Paul Bedard says this: a new study from 3 college professors said that the ultimate cost could be $6.2 quadrillion, comes after trillion, and 1 quadrillion has 15 zeros. This series suggests a payment of $151 million each, and as we said, the cost to every person would be $18.96 million, every American. I don't have that kind of money. I don't know about you, Charles. It sounds very unrealistic. Is it unfair pandering in an election year to suggest that this is something that could actually happen here in the U.S.?
Well, the quick answer obviously is yes. You're talking about not having the money, not just the U.S. If you look at that number, I think the global GDP is like 142 trillion. So that number is 43 and a half times that number. So you might as well give every black person a moon and a unicorn as well. It makes no sense. I think that anybody who sees this should be offended by it. Whatever your views are on reparations, I don't agree with it, but I have some really smart people who do. And I think that, like anything else, public discourse is great. So if you want to have the conversation, let both sides do it. Like your earlier guest, Burgess, was part of a panel with and Coleman Hughes and others that talked about reparations. It needs to include elected officials, business people, and everyone else if they want to have the conversation. But I want to quickly say, whatever that conversation is, it's important to know, because I know we have little time, BLM cannot be at that table. Black Lives Matter, as we said in conversations before, they do not have black interests at heart. There's plenty of people out there who do. There's Dr. Claude Anderson, there's Sandy Durree. You need to focus on ADOS, the American Descendants of Slaves. I got a guy in Chicago, Brian Mullins, and other people who really care about what's going on in the black community. Those are the people you need to contact, not Black Lives Matter.
Well, let me ask you about that, because both you and Burgess brought that up, and they say that is the entire mission of their organization. Now, we know that if you go online, you read their statements, their positions, things that they've advocated for. They're not hiding from them. There's a lot in there you may disagree with, but they say they are the ones who have raised this to the level that we're even having the conversation to be talking about the value of their lives.
Well, yeah, without a doubt, you give them credit for the push and the national and the spotlight, without a doubt. But you can't discount what they say on what you say. You're being fair. You can't say, go to the site. I get that they say this other stuff, but then black focus too. There's nothing on their site that's black. When you interview them, you see them on the different shows. You see them talking about Marxism. They're talking about my number one goal is to get rid of Trump. People who truly care about the black community, you go out and interview them. They may not like Trump. They may like Obama. Whomever. But what they say is, this is what the black community needs to move forward, and we will talk to anybody who is in position of power to get what we want. You look at what the Hispanic community did the other day with Trump. Going to that conversation within the black community, there's a big fight between those who say, I don't care what this man stands for. He's the guy in the seat. It's government tax dollars, not his. Let's go get what we deserve. And then other people saying, no, let's just sit on our hands, keep it some people. That is not pro-black, and they are not saying anything that's actually going to help the community. It's clear. You can't discount what they're saying. What they're saying outside of police brutality, they're not saying anything else that's going on. But if you get back to this, there's obviously troubles in the way to do it. There's trouble in who gets. There's 41 million in this study, really quickly. It says there's 41 million blacks, but they're not 41 million ADOS. So you're including people who I know, close friends, who've been here 5-10 years from Ghana, just became citizens last year, but they weren't born and raised here. So how do you draw that line?
Well, the studies and conversations will continue, and when it comes to Black Lives Matter, again, they're not hiding what their positions are on a number of things. So if you want to know more about whether that's a group you want to line up with or support, check them out, read their information, and see if it lines up with your own personal opinions on these very hot button issues. Charles Love, great to have you. Thank you.